What are your favourite Alderney folklore?
Well, I think the first year or two when I was here, I was asked to speak to an elderly group of people who were the Alderney hard of hearing. That was it, and
Isn't that everybody?
well, it may well be. And I spoke about witchcraft in the Channel
Ooh,
Islands, you see, and the last witchcraft trial was in 1922 in Guernsey.
that's not that long ago.
No, and it was it was a botch. Someone had been selling these illegal potions, you see, during the war, and the only way they could get them was under the witchcraft legislation. Yes.
So they burnt someone?
No, they didn't burn someone,
Right, they just got...
but they used that to suppress their distribution of these
Interesting.
magic potions. Anyway, I did this, and there were a couple of old ladies there, now long departed, and I said, well, who knows? There still may be witches. And this old girl said to me, and there are still some in Little Street.
Oh my lord!
Yes.
Because that's the thing. Like witchcraft is. I mean, it was a real thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Probably still is a real thing.
Yeah. Well, quite. Yes.
I've had a few girlfriends that have claimed to me that they're witches, and I don't think they're lying.
Well, there are white witches and black witches apparently, but yeah, it's quite interesting. But there are. I mean, I started. I've only got halfway through. I was going on a compilation of Alderney folklore. Now there was a man called he was the bailiff in Guernsey in the 1880s, 1890s, called McCulloch, who wrote a folklore of Guernsey, but he did incorporate some folklore of Alderney in it. In fact, he was a member of the Folklore Society in those days, which I was the president for 3 years, and he had some interesting stuff, and there's also some contemporary stuff. I did. I did one piece which I shall publish at some point called the Fab Link, Witchcraft Beneath the Waves.
Oh boy. Well, now that is a subject we can't get into.
No, absolutely.
But Alderney's has a lot of stories.
Yes.
What are your favourite stories about Alderney's?
I think they basically revolve around the smuggling era, the privateering here in the 18th century.
So we're a bunch of pirates.
Yeah. This was entrepot for goods from the continent.
Wow. So Alderney were good pirates, bad pirates?
Well, they were no different from the people on places like Romney Marsh on the south coast who used to smuggle in brandy and tobacco and so on.
Wow.
To avoid taxes.
It's amazing because when you think about Alderney's history, you only really think about like, the war.
Yeah.
You don't really ever think about the times before that, the Victorian age and pre-Victorian.
Pre-Victorian. This was pre-Victorian. I mean, obviously the imminent invasion by Napoleon III was the trigger for troops and forts and so on being built here. But there was an Alderney before that, and privateering and dare I say wrecking as well.
Wrecking? What's that?
Wrecking around the coast. Well,
just like
as they did in Cornwall, enticing ships onto the rocks and so on.
Wow.
It's happened in Cornwall and Devon, in the 18th century.
And then just take their stuff.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, there you go. That's how we used to do it, folks. Back in the day.
Back in the old days.